Now, if you rise above thinking, it doesn't mean you'll never think again, but it means you're no longer in the grip of thinking. And most importantly, you no longer derive your sense of identity, your sense of who you are, from thought, the narrative of you, your life, me and my life. So where does your sense of identity then come from? Where does it arise? Let's do another little experiment. For a moment, let's say there is no past and future. You might have noticed I said, let's say or assume there is no past and future. The truth is there is no past or future, but I don't want to go that far. You might not believe me anymore. Let's assume that right now, in this moment, that you don't have a past and you don't have a future. You're just here. You're perceiving everything, but you don't remember your name. Well, you didn't remember it until this moment when I mentioned it. And you don't remember the stuff that happened in your past. But we don't need it right now. You know, if you need to go there, you can retrieve the files, the memory files. And let's say for a moment that you don't have a future, or that the future doesn't exist, or that you're going to die in 5 minutes. Oh my God. Okay, you don't have a future, and you don't have a past. You don't remember your email address or your name or your problems right now, because right now you're just here, perceiving. You're perceiving, perceiving. What or who are you when you don't remember your past and think about your future? And there's just this left, just this. In fact, there's nothing to think about right now. You don't need to think. And yet, what's left of you when you're not thinking, when you're just here? Now, you cannot name it. There's only a sense, an strange sense of beingness or presence. And that is most essentially you. That is a deep I. That is more truly you than any memory, because you're not your memories. That is more truly you than the historical person. But what is that? That strange sense of there's a presence there, there is a beingness, but it doesn't have any content. There's just a space, there's just a still space. To the mind, it's insignificant. It says, okay, that's enough. I have too many problems to think about. I don't want to go there now. I don't have time. Maybe when I feel a little better, when I've solved my problems, then I can do this. No, you will never solve your problems. If you solve 2 problems, 3 more will creep up behind you. That's how life is. It's not meant to be free of challenges. It's meant to awaken you. And this is the possibility of awakening, is to realize this beingness. Now, beingness comes from the verb to be the most fundamental thing, to be. Now, what's the first person singular of to be? It is not I be. Strangely, you say I am. I am. Now, all you know when you're not thinking is that you are. That's beyond doubt. You can sense the presence that you are. And that is the realization of yourself, not as a person or as a form identity, but the realization of yourself as consciousness. in essence, who or what you are is consciousness, and it's not yours. You're a manifestation of universal, because only one consciousness that manifests in countless forms briefly. And if you can go there and and be rooted in that and realize that is who you are beyond form. The analogy that works quite well that I usually use for this is if you imagine yourself to be a ripple on the surface of the ocean. Let's say every human being here is a ripple on the surface of the ocean. Now, ripples are short-lived, but so are humans. A little bit longer than a ripple, but from a more universal perspective, a human life is a brief thing. It's a flicker, goes, birth, old age, and death. So everywhere on the planet there are these flickers of consciousness, but it's the same consciousness continuously manifesting form. I am is the word. All you can say is I am, but you don't add anything, not this or that. I am. In the Old Testament, God is asked, who are you? And that's perhaps the most profound sentence in the Old Testament is, I am that I am, where God defines him, her, itself as the I am, as the essence identity of all forms. And also another beautiful sentence in the Old Testament, as you know, the Old Testament is a mixed, the New Testament, the Bible is a mixed bag of fantastic things and other things. But I like to look for the jewels that are there. Another beautiful statement that points to all this is, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Now, these words are all synonymous. Be refers to being. Still is a state of consciousness without thought, stillness. Being and stillness, the same thing. And know, there is a deep knowing in that. In fact, that is because that is the source of all intelligence. There's a deep knowing, but from the point of view of the conceptual mind, it looks like unknowing. It looks like ignorance because it's not knowing through concepts anymore. There's a deeper knowing, and this is where what we call wisdom arises, which is very different from intelligence, the IQ kind of intelligence. The wisdom that the world needs, not more intelligence, please, no, but wisdom that, yes, be still and know that I am, it is the I am of the I am of being God. Oh, here we come to a difficult word, but they're all synonymous. What is God then? I rarely talk about God because you can't really, it's so transcendent that whatever you say would be very limited. As you know, human language and human thought is relatively limited.